So I have a lot of things to share with you in the coming 6 days. So my intention for this new series of training is that every day from today and the coming 5 days onwards, every day I will show up here in this group to give a short training, not over 30 minutes of training, and to teach you one core principle of how to up-level your vibration and one really practical technique and hacks that you can use immediately to improve your manifestation results. So when we are trying to manifest but we are seeing mixed results, there is a sign to tell us that something needs more tweaks in whether our vibration level or our manifestation method or other things that might need some tweaks and turns and adjustments so that we can improve further on how we can manifest better. So I have so much to share today. So day one, we'll first talk about the ingredients of luck. So it's actually a collective term when we talk about luck. It's not only consists of one single element. So what exactly forms luck? From the Chinese metaphysics, we would categorize 9 of these items would contribute to the element of luck. Number 1 is destiny. Number 2 is luck cycle. And then Feng Shui, karma, lifelong learning, wellness, mindset, faith, and network. So let me explain. Imagine every baby when they were born into the earth. So every baby when they were born into the earth, there's a snapshot of the energy blueprint at that particular moment in time, and that's what we call destiny, which is the energy blueprint snapshot at a person's birth at that particular moment. So that could represent the cosmic arrangement in the sky. This could also represent the energies on the earth at that particular moment. So when we use an analogy, it's like, what kind of vehicle were you born into? Some were born into a tiny boat. Some were born into a yacht. Some were born into a big ship like TITANIC. And some were only born into a lifesaver. So this is the energy container of a person's at birth. So this is about our destiny. So this is just a vehicle and an energy container of what we were born into. And then every year, every 10 years, every month, every day, every minute, there's energy cycles. So when you were born into a yacht, you would meet with a wave of energy cycles that changes in time. So there are times the waves are higher, there are times the storm are more wavy, more serious. There are times when the sea level is actually pretty calm. So this is what we talk about luck cycle, which is all about timing. So although we cannot change the waves, we can learn how to ride with the waves, how to surf, how to sail, and how to get along with the waves so that we can get the best of the opportunity. Yeah, this is the second element, luck cycle. The third element is Feng Shui, which is actually the space that we position ourselves in. So imagine if you were born into a Titanic kind of ship, so a lot of resources, pretty rich if you were born into Titanic, right? If that's your destiny. And then when the ship starts sailing, it's pretty smooth, right? It's a smooth ride. on the last cycle until the Titanic reached an iceberg. And at that time, when the Titanic is hitting the iceberg, when it is sinking, where were you positioning yourself? This is what we talk about Feng Shui. Were you in the in the underlock, in the rooms underneath right here, or are you on the deck breathing fresh air? If you were locked inside rooms underneath right here when the ship is sinking, you don't have access to fresh air and you were locked, you cannot get out, you are stuck in there. So there's less chance for you to survive. But if you position yourself on the deck, you can actually have the vision to see what is going to happen. You have access to fresh air. You also have faster access to a lifeboat when they offer one. Yeah, so this is where you're positioning yourself in terms of space so that you can access more opportunities, more fresh air, so that you can make better decisions in life. This is what we talk about when we talk about Feng Shui. Next, karma. Karma is about what seeds that you plant. It's about the Good Samaritan. Is about helping others so that eventually when you are in need, there will be people who come back to help you. So that's about karma and lifelong learning. So taking that Titanic example, if you know how to swim, if you know how to crack the lock on the door, if you learn skills that is life-saving at that particular time of crisis, you know how to respond. Health and vitality, when you were strong, you manifest better. So I will talk more about in later days on how vitality and our energy is highly related to the results that we are trying to manifest. When we are too weak in terms of vitality, the power of manifestation usually is weaker and it usually will come much slower. It still works, but it works less effectively. So our health, which is our chi, our energy, is actually highly related to our manifestation power. So I hope this analogy help you understand what constitute of what elements. And besides, we also have mindset, faith, and network, which I believe you all know that. But now tell me, out of all these 9 elements, which of these can you control? So that brings us to the question of, if we can really harness luck, what can we do to bring better luck into our life? So which of these can you control? Can you control your energy at birth? Not exactly, but you can learn how to optimize the talents, the good character traits that you have, and minimize the bad character traits that you have. For example, you might have bad temper, you might be too impatient, then you will try to minimize the effect of that so that you can optimize what resources that you have at your energy container, whether you are on a big ship or you were born on just a lifesaver. You can optimize what you have. Can you control the luck cycle, which is the timing? Not exactly, but as I said, it's the wave of time that you can learn to ride with the wave so that you get online, not trying to break the current. You're trying to ride with the wave, not to break it. And the following items, we can all have some kind of control to change them with our actions. So that comes to the question of, when we understand what constitute of luck, what are the ingredients of the luck elements, we can then reverse engineer that. So ask yourself, if your manifestation doesn't work, or even you feel like you're experiencing bad luck, what can you do now? So when we reverse engineer, we can take a look and examine which part of this element might be at risk or might be having problem. So these are all the things that we can learn to improve, as well as the two that although we can't change or totally control, we can learn how to ride with the wave and optimize with the resources that we already have. So it's all about reverse engineering. So by pointing out these 9 elements, I want you to ultimately teach the idea that your life is fatal. It's not. It's not fatal. It's not that there's a storyline written about the plot of your life and one is going to suffer entirely for the rest of their life. There's no such thing as that fatal. However, you would need to pay quite a lot of effort to learn how to harness that, so that by working on these 9 areas in life, you can gradually improve your energy. And ultimately, what we want is that by having higher energy, you make better decisions so that you can change your life. So life is not fatal, it's not written in stone, but you do need to reverse engineer the elements and to put effort into improve all these areas so that you can have higher energy, make better decisions, and to change your life. So this is a very short introduction of what we are going to talk for the next 5 days or so. So day 1, I would love to share one hack to help you find your stability. Meaning, when we are feeling lost in life, when we are feeling weak, that a lot of things are not totally under our control. We could feel overwhelmed, we could feel tired, we could feel hopeless, we could feel very, very distracted. And this is the time that we would try to immerse ourselves in all the inspiring talk out there. We would listen to all the gurus to talk about positivity, to positive vibes. But when we are in a downward spiral, it's actually very difficult for us to act like positive. You know what I mean? When one is suffering, when one is deep in a valley, when one is in the crisis mode, it's very difficult for you to feel positive, although you might put a lot of effort trying to. So when that happens, the first step you can do is not trying to act positive, but instead try to find your stability first, to find your ground, to make yourself feel more centered, so that the energy are not scattered. The energy are more centered, more collected. You feel calm, you feel more confident, and you feel more courageous. And actually, this is not very difficult because every one of you have your personalized sector. And from it, when you sit in that sector, you will feel more centered, more confident, and courageous. So I would love to share with you these charts. So based on your birth year, you would be able to find your stability sector with these charts. I will also screenshot this and share in the comment section so that it will be easier for you to take reference. So you can check your own stability sector, you can check that of your spouse, that of your children, etc. So these the birth years, and then there will be the different direction for male and female. For example, if you were born in the 1972, and if you are male, then your stability sector is the north. If you are female, then your stability sector is the northeast. So these are the directions. Okay, so this is north, south, northeast, west, northwest, southwest, southeast, east, and southwest. And this is northeast, northwest, west, northeast, south, north, southwest, east, and southeast. So pretty self-explanatory, right? By finding which sector is the stability sector, and by the way, this is a permanent one. It won't change every year, although you might adopt slight adjustment every year because of the flying star for the year, but this doesn't change. So you can either sit at that sector in your house or sit at that sector in your own room. Now, how are we going to use this? This is particularly useful whenever you feel your energy is scattered, you feel like you don't have enough courage to be yourself. I mean, your stability sector helps you become a better self, to become more centered, to become more courageous and brave to make your own decision instead of trying to be a people pleaser. So this is a good place for you to sit in when you are doing journaling, when you're doing reflections, when you're making plans, when you are setting goals. And when you're sitting in this sector, set an intention or a mantra where you will speak to yourself that my life is getting better every day in every way. My life is getting better every day in every way. My life is getting better every day in every way. So this is your intention while you are sitting right there. And then you start with your journaling, your reflection, making plans for the next quarter, and just set goals. So if you are new to my Feng Shui stuff, you might be asking what sector means. Sector means that you would have a floor plan of your house, and then you would stand in the middle of the house with a compass, and then check where the main door is with the direction. And then based on that direction, you would divide your floor plan into 9 square grid, and then you will plot each grid with the direction it is pointing to. And for each square grid, this is what we call a sector. So your stability sector will fall into one of the 8 directions. Okay? So some point to note is that for this particular year, because the southeast and the north direction is the Seknet stars or the Hana stars direction, so these 2 direction is not so good, especially that you have windows over there, you have doors over there, you have moving machines like air conditioning or washing machine in the southeast or north sector. If that's true, then don't use that sector this year. So next year you can continue to use that. So what do we do then? Instead, you can use the southeast or north corner within your room, within your small room. So for example, the north side of your house has access to windows, but the north corner of your room doesn't. Then you can use that as your stability sector for this particular year in 2021. So that's how we apply this information into our life immediately. So this is my hack for you. Check out which stability sector that you have by your birth year, and feel free to check that sector for your spouse, your family members, everyone that you want to help them to feel more secure, to feel more courageous, to be themselves. Yeah, so I personally find this very quick and useful, especially if you are doing like things like planning, setting goals, and to journal or doing inner work right there. Everything about cultivating yourself, your personal qualities will be very effective to activate your stability while you are sitting in this center. So this is my hack for you. For today, we talk about the 9 elements of what forms luck, right? The 9 elements are the destiny, which is your energy at birth, the luck cycle, which is about timing, Feng Shui, which is about the space, and then there are karma, lifelong learning, your chi, which is your health and vitality, your mindset, faith, and network. And then we talk about how you can, the principle that to change your life is just about raising your energy so that you can make better decisions and to change your life. Life is not fatal, believe me. And then with this one hack to find your stability, you would at least feel more solid as a person to help you move forward. So normally it's not a very normally it's a big jump for people who are deep in the valley, who feel stuck, to take a one step up into positive vibes. It's very difficult to do so. So before you can go that way, find your stability first, so that you feel more centered. You'll collect all your energy back that was gathered all around. So I hope you find this hack useful, and then tomorrow we'll talk more about how you can raise your intuition power, because when your intuition is strong, you would connect directly to the information that you need, so that you can cut out all the noise in your head. Because nowadays most of us don't have a negative information issue. Most of us nowadays have an information overload issue, which makes us feel overwhelmed and then fall into the analysis paralysis situation. So day 2 is all about raising your intuition so that you can cut all the noise and make the best decision that is most aligned both internally and externally. So that's all what I want to share with you today, and then tomorrow we will continue for the next part of the training. So thank you for popping in today. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.